Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay. The headlines. First flight from Israel under Operation Ajay brings home 212 Indian nationals this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 9th G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit in New Delhi this morning. Notification for assembly elections in Mizoram and Chhattisgarh to be issued today. World Athletics nominate Neeraj Chopra for Athlete of the Year award for this year. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, South Africa beat Australia by 134 runs in Lucknow last night. New Zealand to take on Bangladesh at the MA Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai this afternoon. The first flight under Operation Ajay carrying 212 Indian nationals from Israel arrived at Delhi airport this morning. The flight to facilitate the return of Indian citizens from Israel left from the Ben Gurion airport in Tel Aviv on last evening. Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar received the Indian nationals who arrived from Israel.
Today is the first flight of Operation Ajay, and this is completely in keeping with our Prime Minister's vision, Prime Minister's determination that our government, his government, will never leave any Indian behind. Any Indian anywhere in the world that finds himself or herself in harm's way, our government, our Prime Minister is determined to protect them, bring them back home safely, and I'm very glad this plane load of students and Indians have managed to fly back safely.
One of the passengers coming from Israel shared her experience.
अंकिता, मैं इजराइल से आई हूँ अभी। मैं हाइफा में पढ़ती हूँ। हाइफा नदन पार्ट में है। इस जो गवर्नमेंट ने पहल करी है वो मैं उसको काफी अप्रिशिएट करूंगी कि वो बहुत स्मूथ प्रोसेस था एंड मुझे लग नहीं रहा था कि इतना स्मूथली ये प्रोसेस हो जाएगा क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग थे और बहुत फास्ट हुआ। मतलब जब हमें मेल आया कि ऑपरेशन अजय के थ्रू हमें इवैक्यूएट करेंगे, उसके विद इन लेस देन 24 आवर्स आई एम इन दिल्ली.
The Indian Embassy in Israel has already announced a second flight for today and has sent out email registrations to leave on a first-come, first-served basis. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar announced the launch of Operation Ajay to facilitate the return of those Indians who wish to come back home. He chaired a meeting to review preparations for Operation Ajay yesterday. Briefing media in New Delhi, Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said, India is keeping a close watch on the situation in Israel, which is evolving and dynamic. He said there are 18,000 Indian citizens in Israel, including students and caregivers. Mr. Bagchi requested all Indians in Israel to register with the embassy there. He said there are 18,000 Indian citizens in Israel, including students and caregivers.
Our focus right now is to make sure that those Indians who are in Israel, there are about 18,000 odd Indian citizens. Small percentage of that are Indian students, others are caregivers and other categories of professions. We are in touch with them.
The External Affairs Ministry spokesperson also stressed that there is a universal obligation to observe international humanitarian law and there is also a global responsibility to fight the menace of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Replying to another query, the spokesperson said, India remains committed to ensuring parity in the diplomatic presence and is engaged with Canadian authorities to ensure this parity. Kerala has made necessary arrangements to assist Keralites coming from Israel under Operation Ajay. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that 24-hour control room has been set up at Kerala House in New Delhi and a dedicated help desk is set up at the airport to welcome them and coordinate further assistance. The control room can be reached at 011-2374-7079. Further, a facility of registration of details of those who wish to return has been done in the website of Kerala House for coordination of activities. Israel has upped its ante amid war with Hamas even as its army keep pounding the densely populated Gaza Strip with artillery shells and airstrikes. It is also preparing for a possible ground invasion. Israel has massed forces, tanks and other heavy armor around Gaza and also called upon 300,000 reservists. Troops have been deployed 150mm artillery guns in fields near the towns of Netivot and Sderot, which were overrun by Hamas militants in the weekend onslaught. Prime Minister Netanyahu has formed a new war management cabinet to bolster public trust and to infuse country's wartime leadership with greater military experience. Along with Netanyahu himself, the cabinet includes Defence Minister Yoav Gallant and senior opposition lawmaker and former Defence Minister Benny Gantz. Meanwhile, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will visit Israel today to express solidarity. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in the country yesterday to extend American support and help mitigate the situation. He met with Netanyahu in Tel Aviv and President Isaac Herzog. Back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 9th G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit P20 at Yashobhoomi in New Delhi today. In line with the theme of India's G20 presidency, the theme of the P20 summit is Parliaments for One Earth, One Family, One Future. During the two-day global event, 25 speakers, 10 deputy speakers, along with 50 members of parliament, among others, will participate. The Pan-African Parliament will also participate in the G20 event for the first time in India. We have more from a correspondent.
During the two-day summit, 4 high-level sessions will be organized, which are accelerating sustainable development goals, sustainable energy transition, women-led development, and transformations in people's lives through public digital platforms. These sessions will bring together G20 members and guest countries for wide-ranging discussions on how parliaments can effectively advance the objectives of the P20. India aims to provide consensus-based solutions to complex global issues towards a more inclusive, peaceful, and equitable world during the P20 summit with the spirit of the theme Vasudev Kutumbakam. Sanjeev Jasrotia for Akashvani News, Delhi.
Before the inauguration of the G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit, a pre-summit event, the Parliamentary Forum on Lifestyle for Environment, was held at Yashobhoomi yesterday. Inaugurating the event, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said that in the contemporary times, climate change and its impact is deeply interlinked with the common future of humanity. He added that it is only natural that on India's initiative, environment-related issues have been unanimously placed at the center of the discussions during the P20 conference.
मिशन लाइफ स्टाइल पर्यावरण संरक्षण का व्यापक दृष्टिकोण है जो प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को अपने जीवन में रिड्यूस, रीयूज और रिसाइकिल व्यवहार अपनाने की प्रेरणा देता है। इसलिए हमें आज एक ऐसी जीवन शैली, एक ऐसा दृष्टिकोण अपनाने की आवश्यकता है जिसमें हमारे पर्यावरण को नुकसान न पहुंचे। ये हम सबका व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक दायित्व है।
This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Notification will be issued today for single-phase assembly elections in Mizoram and first phase of assembly elections in Chhattisgarh today. Elections for 40-member assembly seats in Mizoram will be held on the 7th of November and 90-member assembly seats in Chhattisgarh on the 7th and 17th of November. We have a report from a Raipur correspondent.
Chhattisgarh Assembly has 90 seats. In the first phase, polling will be held for 20 seats on November 7. These 20 seats include all 12 seats of Tribal Bastar Division. Most of these assembly constituencies are affected by left-wing extremism. With the issuance of notification for these 20 assembly constituencies, the process of filing nomination forms will also start from today in these constituencies. The last date for filing nomination would be October 20. While the last date for the withdrawal of the nominations is October 23. The notification for elections in the rest of the 70 constituencies in the second phase would be issued on October 21. Vikalp Shukla, Akashvani News, Raipur.
In Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana, single-phase polling will take place. In Madhya Pradesh, it will be held on 17 November, in Rajasthan on 25th, and in Telangana on 30th November. Counting of votes for all 5 states will take place on 3rd of December. The Chief Electoral Officer of Telangana revealed that cash, gold and liquor worth over 37 crores were seized during the past 4 days in compliance with the Election Model Code of Conduct. Seizures included more than 20 crore rupees in cash, more than 14 crore in gold, silver and diamonds, and nearly 87 lakh rupees in liquor and 89 lakh rupees worth of ganja. So far, 1,196 cases were also filed under the preventative provisions of the CRPC. In Bihar, restoration work and repairing of tracks on both the up and down lines on New Delhi-Patna-Howrah main route is underway on a war footing. Anand Bihar Kamakhya North Express was derailed at Raghunathpur in Buxar on Wednesday. Railway officials said more than 300 labourers, technician, engineering staff are working day and night to normalize the rail traffic. It is expected that the up line will be ready first for operation today after checking safety parameters and adherence of SOP. More than 31 trains have been cancelled and all prominent trains are running via diverted routes due to the rail mishap. 4 passengers lost their lives in the mishap. World Athletics has nominated Neeraj Chopra for the Men's Athlete of the Year Award 2023. The global governing body of athletics issued the statement announcing Neeraj's nomination. Javelin thrower Neeraj is an Indian Olympic and World Championship gold medalist. This week marks the opening of the voting process for the 2023 World Athletes of the Year ahead of the World Athletics Awards 2023. World Athletics has confirmed a list of 11 nominees selected by an international panel of athletics experts comprising representatives from all 6 continental areas of world athletics. In ICC World Cup cricket, South Africa achieved an emphatic victory by 134 runs over Australia in the 10th league match at the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Ikana Cricket Stadium in Lucknow last night. Put into bat first, South Africa posted a total of 311 for the loss of 7 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Quinton de Kock was the star of the match, scoring his consecutive century of the World Cup. In reply, the entire Australian batting lineup crumbled against the deadly pace attack of South Africa at the score of 177. In today's fixtures, New Zealand will take on Bangladesh at the MA Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. The match is scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. The Kiwis will aim to maintain the winning streak as they displayed high standard of cricketing skill in the early encounter with defending World Championship champion England. The Chepauk track is known for being low and slow, with spinners getting a lot of assistance. Bangladesh will not mind a pitch that offers turn because they have a lot of spin bowling options in the arsenal. Union Ministers Hardeep Puri and Anurag Thakur were present with the send-off ceremony of athletes for the 4th Asian Para Games to be held at China's Hangzhou from the 22nd to 20th of this month. The Paralympic Committee of India and Indian Oil Corporation Limited came together to encourage the contingent of 309 athletes, including 196 male and 113 female athletes. In Ladakh, the 2 days Ladakh Janskar Festival 2023 will start at 11 a.m. today at Padoon in Janskar. Major attractions of this 8th edition of the festival will be cultural presentations from famous cultural troupes which include folk songs and dance. And now, for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Sarabjit Kaur.
Thank you, Abhishek. US stands with Israel as strikes enter day 6, leads Hindustan Times, adding India slams Hamas terror attack, reiterates stance on Palestine state. Operation Ajay to evacuate Indians from Israel begins, reports the Business Standard. On PM Modi's Uttarakhand visit, the Asian Age quoting him writes, India's voice is stronger today, while the pioneer quotes him as saying, India going global, 13.5 crore brought out of poverty, says PM, notes the statesman. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar's security cover upgraded to Z, reports the Tribune. And finally, sleeper Vande Bharat will challenge planes next year, reports the Times of India. The paper says the new trains have been designed for comfort and safety and will run up to 200 kilometers per hour when the tracks are upgraded. And with that, it's back to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Sarabjit. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. First flight from Israel under Operation Ajay brings home 212 Indian nationals this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the 9th G20 Parliamentary Speaker Summit in New Delhi today. Notification for assembly elections in Mizoram and Chhattisgarh to be issued today. World Athletics nominate Neeraj Chopra for Athlete of the Year award for this year. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, South Africa beat Australia by 134 runs in Lucknow last night. New Zealand to take on Bangladesh at the MA Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai this afternoon. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.